Now at 5, emotional testimony coming from the widow of Raymond Najera Jr., who was mauled to death by a dog attack. I'm Simone Simpson with a lawsuit now filed from the family against the city.
A teen shot by a former San Antonio police officer in the courtroom today for 2 crimes he's accused of committing. The plea deal he made with the judge to stay out of jail.
Still several questions surrounding yesterday's incident involving a towed vehicle with a little girl inside. Coming up, a local law professor weighs in.
9 hours on the run with help. How San Antonio police say a San Antonio woman is connected to a Huntsville inmate's escape. And Trump and Harris getting ready to square off what voters can expect in their first presidential debate. Our top story now at 5. The family of a man mauled to death by a dog is filing a federal lawsuit against the city of San Antonio and city attorney Andy Segovia. 81-year-old Ramon Najera was killed in a gruesome attack in February 2023. The lawsuit states the dangerous dogs were previously identified by city authorities as a significant threat to public safety. KENS 5 Simone Simpson was in the courtroom today as Najera's wife took the stand. Simone.
Deb, Juanita Najera, also known affectionately as Janie, went on the stand to describe the horrific scene she witnessed as her late husband protected her from the 2 pit bull terriers that took his life.
And Raymond was screaming, and he kept on saying, Janie, we can't take him off I can't take the dog off of me, Janie. I can't, and the dog kept on pulling on his wrist. And we were screaming, I'm screaming, somebody please help us, somebody please help us. I mean, nobody would come out.
It's been more than a year and a half since the dog attack that killed Juanita Najera's husband, Raymond. Juanita was visiting a tailor's house to hem her husband's security guard uniform. As she returned to the car, a dog climbed the fence of a neighboring yard and attacked.
I saw the white dog walking to where I was, and I went like, this dog's gonna finish me up.
As the sentencing phase continues for the dog's owners, Christian Moreno and Abilene Schneider, who have now pleaded guilty to their charges, there's a suit against the city of San Antonio and city attorney Andy Segovia. The suit filed by Juanita Najera and her family claims gross misconduct of the city of San Antonio, whose failure to act upon known threats and to protect its citizens directly resulted in the untimely and wrongful death of Mr. Najera. Those claims echoed on the stand as Najera said the dogs should have never been returned, claiming city authorities knew the dogs were dangerous prior to her late husband's attack.
I don't want anybody to have to go through what I've gone through.
The city attorney's office sent us this statement about the suit, saying, quote, the responsibility for the actions of pets lies with the pet's owners, and in this case, the owners have been found criminally liable. The city has not yet been served with the suit. The city will investigate the claims and address them in the litigation if needed, end quote. In court today, the family said they can't comment on the pending lawsuit. Reporting live in the studio, Simone Simpson, KENS 5.
Thank you, Simone. New at 5, the teen shot by a former San Antonio police officer takes a plea deal in 2 cases of evading arrest. Eric Cantu pled to no contest to 2 evading charges stemming from September 2023 and December 2023. In exchange, a judge sentenced the 19-year-old to 7 years deferred adjudication. That means he'll stay out of jail, but must follow strict rules that include community service, a suspended license, and restitution. The judge also dismissed 2 additional charges, one of them related to shoplifting. The charges came more than a year after Cantu was seriously wounded when former officer James Brennan shot him. Brennan was fired from the force and is awaiting trial. He's due in court on Friday. Developing now at 5, the search for the suspect wanted in a deadly shooting at Sonic expands to Austin. San Antonio police are looking for 17-year-old Adia Roberson. She's accused of shooting and killing Sonic manager Daniel Shrewsbury in the restaurant's parking lot on Babcock and Eckert in July. Police say Roberson was accused of stealing money from a tip jar inside the restaurant. when Shrewsbury followed her outside to take a picture of the license plate in the car she was riding. Roberson allegedly shot him in the chest. Police have already arrested the alleged getaway driver, Joshua Joseph. If you know where Roberson is, call Capital Area Crime Stoppers or San Antonio Police. Now at 5, new legal perspective after a 5-year-old girl left alone in a car is towed away. Police are considering a child endangerment charge against the tow truck driver. But what about the mother? KENS 5 reporter Zach Briggs has more.
Right now, San Antonio police have not indicated whether they plan to pursue charges against the 5-year-old girl's mother. I did speak with a legal expert over at St. Mary's University. He provided some fresh insight.
Law professor Michael Smith says, in his opinion, a charge of child endangerment would not be likely against the mother of the 5-year-old. One of the laws to focus on, he says, is Texas Penal Code Section 2210. The offender had to have intentionally or knowingly left a child younger than 7 years old in a car alone for longer than 5 minutes. It's a Class C misdemeanor, carrying an up to $500 fine. As the mother told us yesterday, she left her daughter in the car for 5 minutes or less, and it didn't take long for the towing company to stop by and hook up the vehicle.
I'm very glad they were able to get to the car and get the child out. I think her account is that she was within eye shot of the car, but I'm curious about how far away specifically she was, how much of the car she could see and stuff like that.
And I did reach out to the apartment complex today. They were unable to provide surveillance video of the incident. I'm Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
New details now at 5. We are learning a San Antonio woman is accused of helping a Huntsville inmate run away to Corpus Christi. Officials say Jesus Villarreal escaped jail early Sunday morning. He was caught nearly 9 hours later. According to a new arrest warrant, Villarreal stopped at Melissa Lozano's apartment here in San Antonio on West Sherrill Drive near Northwest 36th Street. Lozano told police she and her 16-year-old son gave Villarreal new clothes and about $400. She says Villarreal told her he was trying to get to Mexico. After he left, Lozano told officers she and her son deleted camera footage of Villarreal at their home and threw his clothes away in a dumpster. Lozano is charged with hindering apprehension or prosecution. Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson is facing a new lawsuit tonight. A Texas woman is accusing the former Texans player of sexual assault and battery. She claims the assault happened before a dinner date in October 2020. She's seeking $1 million in damages. In 2022, Watson was suspended from 11 games in response to 24 lawsuits by women alleging he sexually assaulted or harassed them during massage appointments. 23 of those lawsuits were settled confidentially. The stage is now set for the first face-off and meeting between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. The debate is taking place in the hotly contested battleground state of Pennsylvania. On Capitol Hill, Trump allies advised him to steer clear of personal attacks. And Democratic leaders expect Harris will lean into her experience as a prosecutor to go after Trump and detail differences between the two.
I think President Trump would be wise to explain how he would change the country, stay away from the personal stuff, talk about policy differences.
A stark contrast in two candidates. One who's a seasoned prosecutor who is going to make her case, and one who is a felon.
The 90-minute debate will have no studio audience. Candidates are not allowed pre-written notes on stage, and microphones will be muted when it's not their turn to speak. Bill.
Deborah, the new 14-day outlook, and there are some effects of Tropical Storm Francine. Speaking of which, will the storm become a hurricane, and just how strong before landfall, and that new landfall forecast. In the meantime, the aquifer does slip about 0.5 to 633.1. Pollen numbers are down, but mold is still moderate. Fall elm still heavy. Deborah?
Coastal areas bracing for Francine, where it may dump 8 inches of rain. And Governor Greg Abbott with why Houston will not suffer a disastrous power outage as it did with Hurricane Beryl.